So it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Everybody in my house is still sleeping, and so this video is gonna be an ASMR self-improvement video. Anyways, this is gonna be a very quick, short video just to basically remind you guys that at the end of the day, you gotta do what you wanna do. At the end of the day, you gotta do what you wanna do. I understand how hard it is when there are constantly distractions and noise all around you, especially from people who are influencing your actions every day, such as family members, friends, people who can definitely cloud your vision of what you actually want. Because I was going through this ever since I started college. Ever since I started college, I knew what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was what I wanted to do back when I was 9 years old. I wanted to become a full-time content creator. So then when I got into college, I still had this dream of becoming a full-time content creator. But because of all the noise around me from like influences from like advisors, counselors, family members, they kept telling me like, okay, well, what's your plan, what's this and what's that, and like, oh, well, like, you know, they just kept influencing so many things that kept kind of like making me go off my path of what I actually wanted to do. And so it took me about like almost 4 years just to come back to myself, find myself, ground myself, and be like, okay, this is what I actually want to do. When I first started college, I went in as an architect, and I've always also wanted to do architecture, but I quickly realized that the career path just wasn't for me. You know, the whole sitting down in the office type of thing, I just couldn't do that. I realized, you know what, let me take a break from school, right? Like, I'm not gonna drop out, but let me take a break from school. Just in that year, I'm just going to focus on making content for YouTube. And so I basically made a deal with myself. The deal was, in a year, if I can reach a certain number of subscribers, then I'm not going back to school. But if I don't reach that certain number of subscribers, I'm going back to school. Well, I told y'all that I'm currently in school, so you already know what happened with that goal. I didn't reach my number of subscribers, but the thing is, I really could have reached that number of subscribers. It's just that in that year, I'm not gonna lie, I wasted that year. Like, all in all, I wasted it. I was just not really doing much with the YouTube, right? I'd always start, but then I never continue. And so I know I could have done it, but it's okay because I'm actually glad I didn't do it. I'm actually glad in that moment in time that I didn't get it done, just because I'm actually very happy that I went back to school. Going back to school was probably one of the best decisions I could have ever made for myself, just because it really not only did it open my eyes up to a lot of things, but I met so much new people in my life and made so much new connections and resources. Like, this is gonna have to be a video for a different day, but going back to school really opened my life up a lot more. But besides that, even now being in school for the past couple of years, I still was like doing things for other people. And when I say I was doing things for other people, I was doing things like, when it came down to my major, I was choosing majors that just sounded good. Like, for example, like, I was in finance, and you know, finance is like cool and everything. Like, I've always been like interested in money and like how money works and stuff like that. But again, I quickly also realized that what you like and what you actually learn in school are two very different things. Something that you enjoy to learn about as a hobby and something that you actually do as a career is so different in college. So I quickly realized I actually didn't want to do finance. I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not doing this. But I felt like a big reason why I was doing it was because at the time, it just sounded good. Like, it just sounded good. Because again, like, even me coming from like refugee background, again, there's a lot of expectations to get it in a good career that's gonna make you a lot of money, right? Like the stereotypical Asian parents that want their kids to become doctors and stuff like that. Same thing with my family, right? Like the African parents that came from a different country, they want you to go into like engineering or stuff like that, and like these high level careers. And thing is, like, I never really wanted to do stuff like that. I even was like, okay, I'm not gonna do financing. So then I went into marketing, and I was like, okay, I'll do marketing, right? Because marketing definitely seems more of like a me type of thing. And other people agreed, right? Other people agreed that marketing also was kind of more my thing. But even with marketing, I'm like, this is not what I exactly want to do. Because even with marketing, it was more sales than anything else. Like, I thought I was gonna be like making graphic designs and projects and stuff like that, but no, all in all, it's just marketing is literally just like data and sales and this and that. And I'm just like, bro, this is not what I want to do too. Like, right? Like, I don't care about none of that stuff. But then I spoke to my advisor, and he told me about communications. And yeah, when I heard communications, I was like, oh hell no, no. because communications was always that major that I kind of just like made fun of. I was like, oh, your communications, like what are you gonna do with that, right? So it was always that major that I just made fun of. But once he really sat me down and like spoke about it and explained how it's basically marketing, but actual marketing, like when I say actual marketing, I'm talking about the marketing that you expect, like the advertising, the billboards, graphic design, public relations, branding, that type of marketing, right? Specifically strategic communications. That's what I'm currently majoring in. And when he explained to me that the differences between the business marketing and strategic communications, which is again basically marketing but eliminate the sales and just it's the people to people connection, I was like, this is what I've always wanted to do. This is what I'm interested in. Like if I had to go to school and study something, this is the thing that I'm interested in the most. Besides that, I'm still very interested in YouTube. And the thing is, every single time people ask what I want to be, I always tell them YouTuber. Like literally, I be in my class and people are over here talking about, yeah, like I have an internship at the stock brokerage place and I've been doing this and that. And then they ask me, I'm like, hey, they're like, hey, like what are your plans? What going forward? Like what do you want to do? And I tell them full-time YouTuber. They're just like I get like two reactions. I get a, oh really, that's actually so cool and blah 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 blah, right? I get that reaction, or I get the, oh okay, so like what's your plan B and like your actual realistic goal. And I'm just like, realistic, bro? Like it still like shocks me to this day how people are always like, how people just don't believe in content creation. It just shocks me to this day that people are like, YouTube, like really, like okay, what about a realistic job? What you mean realistic job? YouTube has been around for over a decade and it has created, there's so many jobs on here. Anyways, I can get into that whole thing later, but again, like I should be straight up now. I'd be like, yeah, I want to be a YouTuber. It kind of like surprises people and shocks people, but I just realized I just want to do what I want to do. And again, coming from like African background, immigrant background, stuff like that, there's so much noise. There's so much pressure around me to do this, to do that. There's so much noise. And I'm just like, I need to stop doing what sounds good and start doing what actually feels good. Because at the end of the day, if I chase fulfillment. At the end of the day, your biggest motivation should be fulfillment. What fulfills your soul, right? What fulfills you? If you do something that is not fulfilling, you're not gonna live a happy life. At the end of the day, you can be making all the money in the world, but if you're doing something that does not fulfill you, you are going to be depressed and sad. Do something that fulfills you. Do something that fulfills your soul, fulfills your purpose. Because at the end of the day, all this noise is going to be there. All these expectations from other people will be there. But it is up to you to decide, are you going to go with those expectations from other people? Or are you going to go with what you want? Again, it's totally okay if you don't know what you want. If you're still young, if you're still my age, around like, you know, high school to about young college, young adult, it's okay if you don't know what you want. Because again, I feel like just even with like social media and other things like that, we're expected to know what we want so early. We're expected to know what we want so early. Tell me why we're already being asked at freshman year of high school, what do you want to be when you grow up? Why are we being asked that? I'm 14 years old. I don't know what's even out there in the world. Why am I being asked what I want to be? You know what I'm saying? So it is instilled in us at a very young age to just automatically know what we want when we haven't even seen the world yet. So don't feel bad if you don't know what you want. It's okay. It's going to take time. It will take time, right? But at the end of the day, just try to do things that feel good to you, that you actually want to do. Because at the end of the day, when those people are gone, right? When you move out of the house and you're not really listening to what your parents say, or when you move to a different country and you're not really worried about what your friends are going to say, are you going to be in a position where you're actually doing something you want? Or would you have done every single thing for them the whole time? And now you're in a position where you can move how you want to move, but you feel stuck because you've always been living for other people. Which one are you gonna be? Me personally, I'm going the route of I don't care anymore what other people think. Obviously, deep down inside, I actually do, right? Obviously, I do. Like, reputation is everything, and I actually feel like, oh my god, like they're gonna think I'm stupid. Like, they're gonna think this and that. At the end of the day, I'm always gonna think that, but I'm just like, I just don't have any motivation if I don't do something that doesn't feel good to me. Alright, Channel, stay 100 with yourself. Do what you want to do. Peace out.